Picture a land vast and diverse, brimming with natural beauty and a rich tapestry of cultures. Yes, we're talking about Canada. Stretching from the Atlantic to the Pacific and up into the Arctic Ocean, Canada is the world's second-largest country by total area, a testament to its staggering geographic diversity. It's a place where the rugged Rocky Mountains stand tall and the endless prairies roll out like a scene from a panoramic movie. But the physical beauty is just the beginning. Canada is a mosaic of multiculturalism, a place where every culture is celebrated and diversity is a national strength. But have you ever wondered about the history that shaped this unique nation? It's as vast and varied as the landscape itself. From the indigenous cultures that first called this land home, to the European settlers who forever changed its trajectory, and the modern, multicultural nation we know today. So, buckle up as we journey back in time to explore the fascinating history of Canada. The history of Canada doesn't start with the arrival of Europeans, but thousands of years before. It starts with the indigenous peoples who called this land home. They weren't a singular entity, but rather a multitude of distinct nations, each with their own unique cultures, languages, and societal structures. From the Haida of the West Coast with their towering totem poles and intricate art, to the Mi'kmaq in the East with their rich storytelling traditions, indigenous societies thrived across the vast expanse of what is now Canada. Each had their own ways of life, adapted to the diverse landscapes of the land, from the icy Arctic to the lush rainforests and sweeping prairies. These indigenous societies were not static, but dynamic and evolving. They traded with each other, forming networks that spanned the continent. They were skilled hunters, gatherers, farmers, and fishers, their practices shaped by a deep understanding and respect for the environment. Their contributions to Canada's history are immense. They shaped the landscape, nurtured the ecosystems, and developed sustainable practices that are still relevant today. They were the country's first artists, its first storytellers, its first engineers. Their knowledge and wisdom, passed down through generations, continue to enrich Canada. The indigenous peoples also faced immense hardships, from the arrival of European settlers to the challenges of the modern era. They endured disease, displacement, and attempts to erase their cultures. But they resisted, they survived, and they continue to fight for recognition and rights. Their resilience is a testament to their strength and spirit. Today, indigenous cultures continue to shape Canada. They influence its arts, its policies, its identity. They remind us of the deep roots of this land, of a history that stretches back thousands of years. They challenge us to acknowledge past injustices, to learn from them, and to strive for a better, more inclusive future. The Indigenous Peoples chapter in Canada's history is a testament to their resilience and their profound connection with the land. The next chapter in our story begins in the late 15th century with the arrival of European explorers. The vast, uncharted landscapes of Canada intrigued many explorers, particularly those from France and Britain. They sailed across the Atlantic Ocean, driven by curiosity, ambition, and the promise of new resources. The Europeans' arrival signaled a significant shift in the course of Canada's history, one that would forever change the lives of the Indigenous peoples and the land they called home. As the Europeans ventured further into the heart of Canada, they established settlements, marking the beginning of the colonization era. The French, led by Jacques Cartier and later Samuel de Champlain, settled in the eastern part, founding what would become known as New France. They established a thriving fur trade, built forts, and formed alliances with some indigenous tribes. Simultaneously, the British, not to be outdone, made their mark further south and west. The Hudson's Bay Company, chartered by King Charles II, controlled vast tracts of land, opening up new avenues for trade and exploration. The British and French spheres of influence coexisted, albeit uneasily at times, shaping what would eventually become British North America. However, the arrival of the Europeans was not without consequence for the indigenous peoples. Their lives were disrupted as they were exposed to foreign diseases, faced conflicts, and were often forced to change their traditional ways of life. Yet, they also played a crucial role in the European colonization, serving as guides, allies, and trading partners. Through exploration and colonization, the Europeans laid the groundwork for the Canada we know today. The cultural, political, and economic foundations they established during this era continue to influence the nation's identity. It was a time of discovery, conflict, and change, a pivotal moment in the unfolding story of Canada. This era of exploration and colonization set the stage for the birth of modern Canada. Fast forward to the 19th century, and we find Canada on the brink of a new era. As we step into the mid-1800s, the provinces of Canada, Nova Scotia, and New Brunswick come together, knitting a new fabric of unity. This amalgamation, marked in 1867, is known as the Confederation of Canada. It's a pivotal moment in history, setting the stage for the Canada we know today. But the Confederation isn't just about unity, it's also about expansion, about reaching towards the horizon and seeing how far it can stretch. Canada's eyes turn westward, seeking to broaden its borders and embrace the vast landscapes beyond its initial territories. In this era of exploration and expansion, the country grows in leaps and bounds, eventually stretching from the Atlantic to the Pacific. Central to this westward expansion is a feat of engineering that threads the country together like a steel tapestry, the Canadian Pacific Railway. Conceived as a promise during the Confederation talks, it's more than just a railway. It's a symbol of unity, a tangible link connecting the eastern provinces with British Columbia. The completion of this transcontinental railway in 1885 is a testament to human tenacity and vision, and it plays a crucial role in shaping the nation. As we near the end of the century, a glint of gold in the Yukon River sets off another significant event, the Klondike Gold Rush. It draws thousands of prospectors to the region, spurring economic growth and further cementing the nation's expansion. This period of rapid expansion and development would come to define Canada as a nation. The Confederation, the railway, the gold rush, all these elements converge, creating a vibrant tapestry of history that continues to shape Canada's identity. It's a story of unity and ambition, of a country stretching its limbs and finding its place on the world stage. As we venture into the 20th century, Canada begins to take its place on the world stage. The onset of the century saw Canada, still a young nation, stepping into the throes of the First World War. Their involvement was significant, with the Battle of Vimy Ridge serving as a defining moment of national pride and unity. As the echoes of the first global conflict subsided, the Second World War loomed large. Canada again played a pivotal role, contributing immensely to the Allied effort, both on the front lines and back home. The valor and sacrifice of Canadians in battles like Juno Beach remain etched in our collective memory. Post-war, Canada gradually untangled its ties with Britain, gaining full legislative independence in 1982 with the patriation of the Constitution. This move marked Canada's evolution from a British colony to an autonomous entity, free to chart its own course. As we move toward the present day, Canada has emerged as a global power, its influence extending far beyond its geographical boundaries. Multiculturalism has become a cornerstone of Canadian identity, a vibrant mosaic that enriches the nation in countless ways. Yet this diversity is not without challenges. Canada grapples with the task of reconciling with its indigenous peoples, striving to address historical injustices and ensure their rights and traditions are respected and preserved. Climate change, too, is a pressing issue. With its vast natural landscapes, from the majestic Rockies to the Arctic tundra, Canada has a unique responsibility and opportunity to lead in environmental stewardship. From a land of indigenous peoples to a global powerhouse, Canada's journey is a testament to the strength and diversity of its people. And there you have it, the history of Canada in a nutshell. We've journeyed from the rich cultures of the indigenous era through the arrival of Europeans and onto the Confederation and expansion. We've seen how the 20th century and beyond have shaped this diverse and resilient nation. Understanding this history is not just about looking back, it's about appreciating the complexity of our present and the possibilities for our future. Each chapter of Canada's story offers invaluable lessons and perspectives, reminding us that history is a living, breathing entity, continuously evolving and influencing our world. If you enjoyed this journey through time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more intriguing insights from around the world. Until next time, keep exploring.